How's
How's it going, Ryan?
Oh, good.
I was gonna say.
All right, what y'all got for me?
You guys ready? All right. Ryan, I mean, obviously second place, but still hell of a performance battle between you and Joe. I mean, what'd you see? How'd you feel out there?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I felt good. Overall, really happy with my performance. I was pretty consistent day out there. I think I had three or four over 75 feet, so can't complain with that. Just couldn't really find the big one, but at this point in the year, I mean, shoot, happy with the distance, happy with the consistency. Been at it for 9 months, so it's been a long season, ready for a little break. But hats off to Joe. I mean, he had a huge throw out there. I mean, just being a dad, traveling, all that, to still come out and finish the season like he did. Hats off to Joe. He won today.
Does it make it harder knowing that, you know, in an event like shot put, that losing by just a couple centimeters, does it make it a little bit tougher? Does it make it easier? I mean, what's that like?
I mean, yeah, I'd rather be right in the mix and just miss than being way off. So, I mean, the distance was there. I mean, that last throw just was yet again just missed. I think I was out like 8 centimeters off, maybe even 7 centimeters. But that was technically not the best throw. So, I mean, the distance was there. So that makes it a little bit frustrating. But, I mean, it's been a long year. So, considering how training has been the last couple of weeks, I mean, I'm happy with the distance that I threw today.
It's also, I believe, the first time you've lost during this outdoor season. I mean, again, you've just been winning dominant all season long. For this one, just to finish second place, I mean, again, I mean, what do you attribute this year's success to?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm really happy. I mean, this year's had ups and downs. I mean, setting the world record, and then with the blood clots and all that, had a lot of adversity and stress up and through world championships. So this felt like kind of getting back out there and competing again. And so, yeah, really happy with the year and looking forward to next year. I mean, the step across and the new technique is really starting to click. And so if I can get back into heavy training and kind of build the foundation that I had this year, but then taper properly and not have a blood clot, then I think I can throw pretty far.
What was that experience like? And I mean, what did you learn from it? And I mean, how do you grow from it? Because again, I don't think as an athlete you think that's ever going to happen. And then you found out it did. I mean, how did that help you?
Yeah, so I mean, it's just not something you plan for at all. But yeah, for me going forward, the biggest thing is that, I mean, I know there's more distance there. Throwing the world record in May at UCLA while in heavy training, and then still throwing almost the world record after like 20 days of very minimal training. If I can kind of find that middle between the heavy training and a taper and combine, like if I had the throw that I had at World Champs, being in good shape and healthy, I mean, that's a 23 high, pushing 24 meter throw. So I know that the pieces are all there. I just have to put them all together.
Any thoughts on the profusion of 22 meter throws across the field today? That was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it was a phenomenal performance. I mean, you saw a lot of events doing surprisingly well, especially with athletes coming from competing in Europe after World Champs, coming back here kind of on a limited travel window. And so there were some events that were a little bit down, but across the board, outstanding performances here. And so I was surprised. I mean, I thought that going in, I thought it would be about 2240, 2250 to win. So yeah, the shot was much better than what I was expecting, both for myself and the whole field.
What have the past couple of weeks looked like health and training wise? Have the blood clots still been an issue?
Yeah, a little bit. So I've been, I went back home after World Champs and tried to go back into heavy training for 2 weeks, and it was just not going well. Mentally a little bit disengaged and physically just not able to execute, both in the ring and in the weight room. Everything was a little beat up and down. So decided to taper, just continue tapering and try and do maintenance work. And so that was a little bit frustrating because out there today I just didn't have the power that I would hope to have. But shoot, it's September and it's been a long season. So overall, really happy with the technical execution across the board. Like there was nitpicky things that I could take from each throw that I could have improved on and didn't catch that really big one. But across the board, I mean, the consistency was good, and I felt like I competed well. That last throw was a bit frustrating because that had the distance to win. I just didn't stay on that ball quite long enough. So the pieces were there, and I put it together as best I could. And yeah, Joe really had to earn the win at least today.
Did you ever think of not competing at pre, considering the build-up afterwards?
Yeah, so it was a thought for a while, and then I kind of decided after doing 1 week of heavy training and just like digging a hole and essentially having all the symptoms of overtraining, I figured I would taper for a week and kind of see if I would bounce back. And once I body kind of had some signs of life, then it was like, oh, we might as well go, and at least I'll be a little more rested than the guys that were out there, simply because I came right back after Worlds. So yeah, there was some thoughts as to not doing it, but shoot, I love competing at Hayward Field. It's close to home, so figured I might as well come up and see the family for a little bit and get my travel paid for.
And do you have time off before? How much time do you have off, and then do you plan to do indoors as well?
Yeah, so I take a pretty minimal amount of time off compared to a lot of guys. I mean, when I was younger, I used to take a lot more time off, but then it started to take 6 weeks off. It'd take me 6 weeks to get in shape. Next year it's 8 weeks. Next year it's 12 weeks. Now if I took 6 weeks off, I don't know if I'd ever get back in shape. So pretty minimal. I'm 10 days, so a week and a half off, and then I get back into kind of a GPP, like a general prep phase. But it looks so different than what I've been doing for the past 3 months that it kind of feels like a break in the sense that training really takes a big pivot away from CNS and dynamic training to more higher reps, higher volume. And so it's enough that my body feels like a little bit of a break, and shoot, after 10 days, I feel like mentally for me, I need something to do so I don't go crazy.
What do you think of the success of the American women in the throws? It's obviously a huge weekend here, but also at Worlds with 5 medals.
Yeah, so just in terms of the American in throws, yeah, so we've, yeah, I mean, as a country, really just outstanding in the shot, especially on the men's and women's side, as well as just trying to. I'm happy to see the improvement in the other events. For the longest time, we really struggled in the hammer, but now you're seeing some really dominant performances on the women's side, and we have some up and coming in the javelin as well. And so hopefully we can kind of break into that, like we have in the hammer. But yeah, U.S. shot continues to be really solid, and it has me excited for next year because yeah, chance to represent Team USA at the Olympics for any track and field athlete. As an American, that's the pinnacle of the sport.
Ryan, pretty much since the start of your career, professional career at least, you've had success here at the Prefontaine Classic. What is it about this specific meet that just kind of seems to bring out the best of you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic venue, and for me, it almost feels more like a homecoming in terms of the friends and family. We have a lot of family members, a lot of friends that came down from both Portland area, Central Oregon. I feel like it's just pretty much a hometown meet for me, as close as you can get as a professional track and field athlete. So love the chance to throw at home, so to say. And yeah, we were lucky with fantastic weather, and we've been lucking out for a number of years with great weather at both USA's and Prefontaine. So I'm kind of dreading that one day we get rain out there, but so far so good.
I know that before Worlds, you talked about your goal was to obviously beat your own record. You know, winning the World Championship would have been great, but your goal is beating that world record again. With the Olympics around the corner, what do you think is more important to you if and when you make the Olympics? Is it beating your own record or getting the gold as an Olympian?
Yeah, I think for me, winning another gold would probably be the top of the list. Simply, no one's ever won 3 golds in the men's shot, and so to be the first to do that would be a huge accomplishment. And then the other thing is at the Olympics, at major championships, it's never ideal conditions. I mean, I think Tokyo, before we stepped out on the field, we had taken 17,000 steps that day, and so you're walking a lot. I think Paris will be a little bit different. Tokyo, I remember they had a temperature gauge on the track and it was 136. And we were out there for 2.5 hours. So, I mean, you have things like that, sleeping in a different bed, eating different food, 2,000-3,000 miles away from home. So it's not ideal. You kind of have your championship record, and then you have your own record in more conducive meets. And so the biggest thing is who can respond the best to all of that adversity, and that's why we have the major championship. So main thing at the championship is trying to do my best to win. But at the end of the day, I can't control what the other guys throw, just what I can do. So I want to go out there and perform the best I can.
Did you try and go blood thinner for the